Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How Knox? It's like he knows. I know. Okay. Jeez. How is everybody doing? You'd intercept me? I like it. You're in and you're on time. I was a little bit late. I was a couple minutes late. I had to finish feeding the fat one, and then I had to go take him outside and let him take a dump. So how is everybody doing? Thank you. I like the intro. My buddy, my editor G Van, I was like, hey, put something together, and he's like, well, what do you want? And I was like, get creative. Intro video, minute or so, and that's what he came up with, and I really liked it. Had some minor tweaks, but we're getting there. Nice beard. Thank you. You know, I saw these smoking hot young ladies at the gym, and they want nothing to do with me. Friday, thank you so much, Superb fan. How you doing, buddy? Or Super BS fan? Superb. You know I'm dyslexic, right? Super something fan. Starting the week on with a dose of HLC. Yes, I am here. Knox may be queer, but I'm used to it. I love this dipshit. You want to step up here? You want to step up and say hello? I know. You're a good boy. You smell like butt already, and you got a bath a week ago. Yeah, you got a bath a week ago. You already smell like butt. All right, go on, bud. Go to your bed. Go on, go to your bed. Bed. Now. It's like he doesn't understand what I say until I say now. Oh, and now he's ignoring me. That side. Knox, go to your bed. Now. Yeah, I do need to work on an Abrams character. I definitely need to do that. It's hard to capture a lot of these characters for you guys, so it's on my list. Happy belated birthday. Yes, Knox is, he's 11 now. He turned 11 on the 13th of July. He is my best buddy. Space is not the 3D, but Infinity D. Oh, hold on. I want to read that. It was, U.S. military stands no chance against the coming of divine justice. I don't know what you're getting at there, but I would say that we're already better prepared than kind of everybody else. But if you mean by like an act of God is divine justice, yeah, no one's prepared for that. Quite literally. Eminem Jr. over here. I am not. Had an endoscopy. They found something. Took a shit ton of biopsies. I'm hurting like hell. Heartburn. 10th level. Ooh. Sorry to hear that, Highlander, but I'm glad you're doing okay. So they found something, man. Well, you know, good luck and Godspeed to you, man. I obviously, wish you the best. My wife and I love your content so much. Thank you so much. It always, because my wife doesn't even really understand like what I do. Like she understands what I do, but she doesn't really like get it. So it's always interesting to me to hear like other people talk about how Knox, get your ass in here. Get in this room. I left the door open because it gets 1,000 degrees in here. Go to your bed. Go to your bed. It's always interesting to hear like couples enjoying my content. It's a very different experience for me. How did I decide to personify your characters the way you do? Well, I try and read about them a little bit and get a decent understanding of the way that they've been utilized, how they are, and kind of I guess I go off of vibes after that. Is like the vibe I get of the way a character would be. I was like, that's good. New show pitch. Hold on. Do a show with Angry Cops, Fat Electrician, Donut, You, Eli, Mystery Science Theater 3000, but with crappy shit 80s war movies. Mystery Science. I'm unfamiliar with Mystery Science Theater 3000, but with crappy 80s war movies. I do like breaking down crappy 80s war movies, but I also love them. Like, was Commando in the 80s? Or was that a 90s movie? You ever seen Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger? It's one of my favorites. The whole movie is nothing but one-liners. The whole movie. It's great. How's Grandpa Buff?
Oh, I'm not too bad. You know, I got a little bit of indigestion, a little bit of heartburn. I kind of might have pooped myself a little bit earlier, but it didn't quite get out of all the cheeks. So I think it's a good day.
My brother just graduated from Army Ranger School. Congratulations. Shout out Daniel. I'm so proud of him. You know what? Good job, Daniel. I really am. I never went through Ranger School because I'm just a fat, lazy pogue who likes missiles, which is okay. But I had a platoon sergeant at one time who was a former Ranger instructor, and I was like, is Ranger School really hard? And he's like, not if you can starve yourself and not sleep. So that weeded me out right away. I was like, I can't starve myself. I don't do hunger. Hunger makes me insane. Like, I can do a lot of different shit. Hunger, can't do it. That's the one. Nope. That whole, like, he does have a stash. I do have a stash. What are we talking about? Explorers is a great 80s movie. I don't know if I've seen Explorers. Jack Shields, 2004. Thank you so much, my dude. Commando was in like 91. Ooh. Then I may have to go back to like Predator. Predator was before Commando, I think, right? My operator, and I love you. You and entire Pepperbox crew. Really hoping to make a live show and see you there. Keep up the great content. Much love. Thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. And I love just like making people happy. Today I was at the gym. Go to the gym, by the way. I was at the gym and there was a gentleman there and he was kind of scooting along and he walks with a cane. And he's in his 50s and he has a disability. I wasn't sure what his disability was. I didn't want to infer anything. And he was kind of trying to like walk with a weight over to like a bench so that he could use it. And I was like, hey man, you need a hand? Struck up a conversation with him. His name's Frank. Really nice guy. He's got cerebral palsy. He's going through a divorce and stuff like that right now. But yeah, we chit-chatted a little while I was lifting. So it was a good experience today. So I really enjoyed that. You made me laugh so hard over the past couple years and most definitely have cheered me up on some crap ass work days. Keep up the great work, sir. Thank you guys so much. The recent video didn't do as well as I'd hoped, but you know, that's just the way it is. You know, you throw out a video and you're like, I think this will do well. Didn't. So it's okay though. You know, it doesn't discourage me. You're a retired flight paramedic. Fucking thank you for what you do. That shit. Nope. Dad, who was an electrician and grew up running around Scott Air Force Base. You guys ever in Southern Illinois, I'd love to take you both at dinner sometime and show you the cool stuff around here. Well, everything's on the table. I did call, I don't know if he's in chat right now, the gentleman who works at the Mighty Mo. I called, he didn't answer. It's okay. I left a message. I just haven't received a call back yet. So looking forward to linking up with him for the USS Missouri. I was like, yeah, we could line that up. And then I found out that August and September are the hottest days in Hawaii. And I was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. We'll figure something else out. We'll do it another time. Hey, mods in chat. Yeah, what's going on? Air Force vet here. How you doing, buddy? Thank you so much for what you do and your cervix. Jaden Price, thank you so much as well. School starts Monday. Oh, you know, this is the thing, man. I kind of miss school because school, you know, okay. The curriculum itself, I have some serious issues with the way they're teaching math and the way they're teaching reading and things like that. And obviously, I mean, all the bad stuff that happens, any kind of like bullying and stuff like that, not a big fan of it. However, I feel like school is incredibly important just because like you're shoved in there with a bunch of other kids from your community and you have to learn social skills. Or you show up in a trench coat. I mean, you know, to each their own. But you can tell which, like, right away you were homeschooled because they're highly intelligent. I mean, homeschooled kids, they're smart. Social skills, they may be lacking a little bit, at least in my personal experience. But I think school is incredibly important, man. And I kind of miss school sometimes. It was just, it was good. When's State of Mind drop? Weapons, Mrs. Linecrosser, I was talking to her about doing the thumbnail because she does all my thumbnails and she's like, I told her, I was like, yeah, can you knock out the thumbnail tomorrow morning so I can have it out tomorrow afternoon? And she's like, when you get off a stream I can knock it out. So she's the holdup, but it's done, it's ready. Should I say habitual Warhammer reader? I got the book. I have had zero time. I don't know if you guys have ever done crown molding. Now I know it's a super first world problem, okay? But we're not doing it in like a whole room or anything else like that. We just bought some crown molding and I was like, you know, my wife wants to try it in our coffee bar. Now, most people who have a wet bar in their house call it a wet bar, but I'm 35 years old and it's a coffee bar to me. So I've been doing that in there. I've learned a lot of things about how to do that. One, the nails I had weren't long enough to do crown molding. I had to make some adjustments there. Two, when you paint a piece of crown molding on one side, once it dries, the wood gets a little warped. Another thing I learned. But anyways, be honest with us. Was it Was it you who was interested in Warhammer 30, 40K, or did Grandpa Buff make you buy when he heard about being racist, genocidal at a galactic scale? I tell you, I'll scroll through like Instagram or Facebook, and as I'm going through there, I'll see like a video of like Warhammer, and it looks so cool. It's just I don't know what's going on. Obviously, I'm gonna, like, not knowing anything, I want to root for the human killing whatever is not human, but at the same time, I don't know what's happening. I don't even know where the 30K, 40K thing came from. I'm hoping this book helps me. Gonna come to Ohio for the Air Force Museum. I was told from individuals at the Air Force Museum they're, quote, not entertaining podcasts right now, which just tells me that I now have permission to hurt somebody's feelings. So stand by. Feelings will be hurt. I've already asked Eli, but Eli is a busy, busy, busy man. And yeah. Would you rather own an F4U Corsair or an F-22 Raptor? Oh. If I had to maintain it myself, F4U Corsair. But if all that was taken care of and I just got to fly it, probably an F-22. I don't know. That's a tough one. Because, like, I mean, who in their right mind wouldn't want their hands on an F-22? Like, seriously. Obviously, some fucking Russian incel is, oh, the Su-57 is better than heavyweight. It's stupid. But in reality, I think every grown individual, that's like walking up to a random dude on the street and be like, do you like boobs? Unless he's gay. Yeah. Everybody does. Weapons you don't? That checks out. Weapons might be in the closet, guys. Oh, I'm going to get a rough DM for that one. My best friend is a former crayon eater. Ooh, I love it. And he told me some Marine jokes they have about other branches. You got some of the armies? Well, the one that they always say about the Army is aren't ready to be Marines yet, or aren't real Marines yet, or some shit like that. And I think it's important to note that Marine is, of course, an acronym as well. Stands for muscles are required, intelligence not essential. Continuing on down that path, Marines find it really interesting to refer to sailors as squids, but it's important to note that all sorts of marine life feeds off of squid shit. I mean, there's the whole crayon eater, ASVAB waiver type stuff. There's, commutism. I like that. I don't know if you did that as a typo, but I just saw the word commutism, and I kind of want to text that to Nick right now. I found you while our son was in the children's hospital. You have no idea how much you help every day. You help through the worst part of our lives. Thank you. I'm Hoyd's wit. Man, dude, you know I'm dyslexic, right? Dude, I love hearing, like, that's why I started doing this. I didn't start it because I expected to help everybody. It's just, it was something I wanted to do. And I know laughter is an incredibly powerful tool, especially when people are going through things. And there's no way in my world that I could know what everybody out there is going through. But it really does feel like I'm accomplishing what I set out to when I hear people, God forbid anyone else ever in that situation, having a child in the hospital. I can't imagine what that's like. But being able to help somebody through that time in their life, like that is more rewarding than any sum of money in the world to me. It's like that right there. Like if you could bottle that, and like I would just, I'd freebased it. That like just, I don't know if freebasing was, I don't do drugs, man. I don't yet. My terminal leave ends on the 14th. I'm officially a veteran after that. So I think maybe I'll try crack. Someone's going to clip that. Oh my God. What's up from Georgia? D&D is fun too. I played D&D before. I pissed off my dungeon master. He had like a whole plan in his head, and I just kept on throwing like random shit. And I rolled really good. I had a lot of nat 20s. Like probably a statistically impractical amount. Didn't even cheat or anything. It just JW3408, thank you so much as well, my good sir. Oh man, this chat is cruising. Dr. Woolly Nipples. Oh, that's worth the $2 right there, man. That's totally worth it. Oh my god. Oh wait, hi Fat Electrician. Is he in here? I didn't see the Fat Electrician in here. Oh man. How's the kid? Oh, you know, another day, another hanger. That's what I do. 40K the year of our Lord, 40,000. Is that what 40K comes from? It's like $80 an hour. What's $80 an hour? Southpaws for buff? Yes. I just want to just pause for a second and look at how adorable that big, stinky, fat shit that I call a dog is right now. Up in the top corner, that side. It's kind of mirrored. Yeah. Putting it here because I love the vids and I love to hate the British character because it reminds me of all the worst bits of my fellow countrymen. I have to balance it out. I have to every once in a while, like, kind of throw a bone to the Brits and have the Brits like talk shit to America and be valid in that because, yes, I'm obviously American. However, I don't want the Brits to be just considered the whiny character on my videos. So like when the UK does something good, like shooting down stuff in the Red Sea, hell yeah, I'm gonna let them toot their horn, man. Yes, Elvis Presley was a tanker on an M48, the Patton. Yeah, that was, he actually went through Disney Barracks, Fort Knox, the same basic training I did. I don't know why I did hand gestures and a head bob, because that means fucking nothing. That's kind of lame. We're relatively close to the Hazy Air Space Museum, and I was so happy to take my son on a field trip last year. SR-71 is my favorite. The SR-71, there's a video that's been just going around from one of our episodes of Habitually Fat. If you guys are unfamiliar with it, pepperbox.tv, there's a free 14-day trial. Me and the Fat Electrician, we go around to different museums, and we have a show called Habitually Fat. And we went into the Spy Museum, and then we both like tismed out about the SR-71, and it's been a clip that's out there for a while, and people are really liking it. And somebody, I was reading the comments on one of them, so I said that when the SR-71 would switch over to its, and I couldn't remember the name of it, and I said Ramjet or Scramjet, and then I even said, like, in the video, I was like, I can't remember what it's called, and then like when it switches over to the other engine, and somebody's like, HLC's wrong, it's not a Ramjet. It was and then whatever the hell it's called. And I was like, look, man, I clearly stated I had no idea what it was exactly called. But yeah, it doesn't switch anything. Weapons? Look, I'm not an SR-71 pilot, but the video that I watched was an SR-71 pilot, and he explained how they switch to the other engine because they have to get to the top end of the speed of the turbofan engine or whatever the hell it's called, which is the bottom. There's like an overlap, which is the bottom end of the speed for whatever the other engine is. And ta-da. Look, man, I watched the video. I'm going to trust it. I didn't dig into it. Yes, incorrect aircraft facts with HLC. Yeah. Did you know that the A-10, it's the Hogwart. Yeah, we changed the name as the Hogwart. It doesn't have the ability to fire rockets or drop bombs. It's literally just the gun. And the gun is like, I don't know, 27 millimeters or something. I'm trying to see how many things I can rapid fire get wrong before weapons like just loses it. Even in the Navy, there's rivalry between submariners and the surface fleet. Yeah, but like that's kind of well-founded, man. Because have you ever met submariners? I love submariners. Don't get me wrong. I love them, but they are strange. They have way too much nitrogen in their bloods. They're the blood. And they like have they've been way too close to the bends for too long. It sucks. Last year up in Fargo, we had an F-22 Raptor showing off. I wanted to get my Ace Combat 4 sign by the pilot and the crew. Had it planned and I got COVID. Oh shit, dude. I have never been to an air show. Like a open civilian air show. I mean, I've seen A-10s do gun runs, but they were actually shooting at people. So I've never been to like, oh, Weapons is calling Knox pathetic. He's not. I'm looking at that boy. That's my best bud in the whole wide world. Guess who's not my best bud in the whole wide world? Weapons. Can one of my mods like temporarily ban Weapons? Is that a possibility? I'm sorry. I'm just being a smartass. Since I checked out Hammer, have I checked out Warcraft? Oh, don't recite the dark magic to me. I was there when it was written. The original Warcraft, and when it was still RTS before they switched to World of Warcraft and stuff like that. Oh yeah, played that a long time ago. Fantasy, but they have genocidal warmongers, Arthas, and Garrosh are good. I don't know too much of the lore, but I used to play the video game a lot. D&D was created in your home state. Shout out from Poland. Oh, we have Polish in chat. You're getting some horns. I fuck with the Polish. There we go. Says our Pio run? I never get that word right. Man pads are selling like hotcakes, so what's so great about them? I would have to look into it. Do you know how many things in the Polish military are named Pio run? Including like the whole like we are Poles situation. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. So back in it was the early 1940s, Poland had taken their two, I don't know if they were considered battleships or they were destroyers at the time. I think they were destroyers. The ORP Bliskowica, I'm probably fucking up that, and the ORP Pio Run or Pio Run. The other one, the Bliskowica, was sank. But what's crazy is the Pio Run, which weighed in at like, I want to say like 7,000 or 8,000 tons. It wasn't very big in the world of warships, okay? Went toe-to-toe for like an hour and some odd change straight with the Bismarck. Like the German Bismarck. Like that fucking battleship. Went toe-to-toe. Like almost point blank. Left when they were running low on fuel and ammo. And the whole time, I guess they were like, I don't know if telegraphing, using the flags or whatever, but like the whole time they were like, because the Germans thought that they were a British vessel. And they just kept repeating, I'm a Pole, I'm a Pole, I'm a Pole. And I was like, that's fucking big dick energy right there. I don't care who you are. You're going to charge a ship because the Bismarck weighed like 50,000 tons, like in comparison. So something 5 times or more the size of your ship. And you're like, I want this fight. I want this smoke. It's so good. Yes, I know that look, the Bismarck was also damaged at this point in time. I'm aware it was kind of limping, trying to get away. And the Pio Run was told to stand by until larger vessels got there. And they said, fuck it, I'm a Pole, and did Polish shit. Like that's one of my favorite Poland stories. I need to look up more Polish history. I really do. But no, I need to look up the Pio Run man pads and figure out what's so special about them. Because if they're selling like crazy, I need to know why. Retired the 14th, it gets called back to actor. Don't you put that evil on me, Pink King. Don't you fucking do that, man. Please tell weapons of the rest of Canada. Okay. To stop with the chemical warfare. Today's the first day in over a week without air quality alert in Michigan. I like seeing blue skies, not smoke. Weapons isn't Canadian, is he? No. He worked on the A10. Does Canada have A10s? Canada doesn't have A10s, do they? It's kind of just like, it's like handing a homicidal maniac a sword. Here you go. No, he's not Canadian. I know Canada's had some fires, but to their defense, or in their defense, didn't we have some in Wisconsin like a year ago that like went all over Canada? So I guess it's kind of fair. Bully him into doing the Battle of Samar. I'm not familiar with that battle, and that's probably because it's not that important. Oh man, driving weapons insane. Sorry, it was me. I look like him with a beard. That's great. I'm gonna tell him that on the next Kind of Consensual. Did you guys see? You don't gotta go watch it right now. I'm not a big fan. Okay, actually, there is something I do want to iron out real quick. So I was watching the debate with Angry Cops and Michael Malice. And it was on a Tim Pool podcast, and there was a clip of it. So I shared it on my Twitter, and I was like, I couldn't even finish watching the entire episode because Malice just kept like talking in circles, and he wasn't bringing up any valid points and acted like everything he said was a gotcha to Rich. And Rich was like, and this is the thing, in my opinion, to win a debate, you have to stick to facts. So when Malice said something that was factual, Rich was like, yeah, that's absolutely correct. And then moved on. so anyways, I shared that, and somebody's like, how can you share this shill for Russia, blah, blah. And I explained to him, like, I wasn't mad or anything. I was just like, hey, one of my friends went on a show, and I want to show support of that. Like, that's all it was. Well, how do you feel about your friend supporting a guy who has Putin's hand? Like, look, man, I am friends with a lot of people who don't share in my personal opinions, and I don't know why this is lost on the internet. You can be friends with people that disagree with you. That's fine. Like, I don't have to hate anybody just because they don't share my same opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. So, it was pretty bad. Oh man, you guys are all having a... just submitted my packet to the Navy today. Scared shitless about MEPS. They always try to make you disqualify yourself. Yes and no. What I will tell you is, you know, just go through the motions. If they say do this, do it. But yeah, I wouldn't be scared. Like, fear of the unknown is always going to be there. However, I wouldn't be as afraid as you think you should be, man. Trust me. Like, it does what it's told. That's the way the military works. It does what it's told until it's told it can go do what it wants. That no matter what rank you are, right? Like, everybody in the military has a boss. It doesn't matter if you're a 4-star. Guess what? That 4-star, his boss is the president. If you're a private, your boss is a sergeant. If you're a sergeant, your boss is a staff sergeant or a sergeant first class. Like, it's just, everyone has a boss. And you, like, as you rank up, you just kind of do more with less. Like, and this is the way that I explain ranks even to my students, is when you're a private, you're told, hey, pick up the cigarette butts in that smoke pit. Okay. When you're a sergeant, you're told, hey, sergeant, your team is in charge of police calling around the smoke pit. So then the sergeant task identifies and says, hey, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, so we can get this job done. The squad leader is told, hey, you're in charge of the barracks, by the platoon sergeant. The platoon sergeant is told, hey, Sergeant Major is coming through on Wednesday, make sure our areas are good. So the platoon sergeant tasks out his squads to make sure things are done accordingly. Okay. And when you're a first sergeant, Sergeant Major goes, hey, I'm going to be in your AO on Wednesday. All of that happens just from that, boom, one little sentence. You just do more with less, the higher you go. So is that whole BS with Western Canada trying to break away legit and go independent and join America? If true, your thoughts. So I want everyone to take some of my videos with a grain of salt. I've talked with Wolfram to, like, kind of feel that out, because Wolfram is, you know, my friendly neighborhood, you know. I almost said rooftop Korean. War criminal. And right now, it's a lot like we have in the US. It's the loudest that are also the dumbest. So I guess the general feeling is in Canada, and this is what I get from Wolfram, is that no. Like, even your moderate Canadians are like, no, we don't want anything to do with that. So that's really all it boils down to. Anyway, watching from, is that Italy? I think that's Italy. I'm not great with flags. I'm so sorry. Is that Italy? That's not France. No, France has blue. Mexico has a little thing in the middle. I want to say that's Italy. I feel bad. SPP production. I'm so sorry, but thank you so much. I mean, Alucard really rammed SR-71 into a ship. Did he? Oh yeah, that's the I'm not super familiar with that captain. Ex-roomie was a Submariner. Holy shit, you're right. There's some odd ducks, bro. There's something off about them, and you can't, like, put your finger on it, right? Like, you spend enough time with somebody and you're like, oh, this person is a neat freak, or this person is a dirty bird, right? Like, it's always the strangest thing. Like, one day you come in and the house is completely spotless or something like that, but they're wearing, like, chicken carcasses on their feet, and you're like, that's weird. Okay, I don't understand how this works. And then, like, the next day you come in and they're like, oh, hang on, let me just brush my eyes. And they're like, wait, what? You mean brush your teeth? And they're putting, like, dude, there's something just a little off about them. They're just a little strange. Yeah. There's a chance F-15 is not 104-0, but 103-0. I saw that. Somebody posted that today. The sources, I mean, just Google in general says 104, but I'd like to know, like, more details about the 103, and I probably got to read into the thread a little bit more. So basically trying to prove their new fighters crap compared to their old ones, but make fighters outclass. Yeah, they were trying to show that while America has staggeringly larger numbers of 5th gens and stealth aircraft, and the J-20 barely meets the standards that America has for stealth. That's why, like, I will always say that the Su-57 is not stealth, because it doesn't meet the reduction in radar cross-section you need to be classified as a stealth aircraft in the United States. There's no global standard for stealth, just like there's no global standard for generations. So, like, the J-20, I'm willing to bet, I would bet my fucking life that if we got a J-20 and we compared it side by side, no classification, like everyone just could look at whatever they wanted to, I guarantee that J-20 is probably within the standards of Generation 4 that the United States maintains. I would be relatively confident in that. But yeah, they went to show that it even their 4th gen jets were still, a formidable force, which is true. Any jet is better than no jet. Okay. However, it also comes down to training, network sensors, weapon loadouts, maintenance. Like there's so many factors that go into battlefield operations. And that's why I tell people all the time, the United States, our military is a logistics company with a hobby in warfare. Like we focus so much before the first bullet drops, bomb drops, or bullets fired. We know how we're going to sustain operations on the battlefield throughout the entirety of the op plan. Like sustainment is wildly important to us. So yeah, basically what I was getting at there is it was a maneuver kill to avoid the fight. One of the 104 was probably a self maneuver, but that's not fair because the EF-111, the Spark Fark, it has a maneuver kill, and it was considered like its only maneuver kill. It was the Spark Fark's only kill, from what I was reading up on. I didn't dig into like all of it throughout every country, but just in the United States. Do I play War Thunder? I log on every once in a while and I play like the arcade like tank battles where you like hold a zone and you just fight. I do that. Today I was like, I'm going to play that a little bit. I'm going to play like regular PvP. I got fucking smoked. I didn't kill a single tank. I was like, yeah, that checks out. F-22 pilot. Ooh.
Would you intercept me?
Oxtaku. Thank you so much.
Me.
Did you hear about YouTube is going to implement a ID verification thing in a few days or so? Did you hear that Rockstar, the developers of GTA, is making it so you need an ID to play the game? It's a rated M video games. Kids shouldn't be playing it anyway.
I totally agree. And my personal opinion, if you want my personal opinion on things like that, I think that is government overreach. And here's why. Should children be seeing a lot of the content on the internet? No. But I also shouldn't have seen half of this. You guys remember rotten.com? Okay. I shouldn't have seen Stick Death, Newgrounds, all the shit we looked at in the early 2000s, right? Well, back then, parental controls didn't really exist. Parents didn't know as much about the internet as we do today. And I think that when the government has to step in and force something to happen with a corporation to protect children, a child can't vote. A child can't make a lot of life decisions for themselves. Like a child should be parented. I personally think that it is way government overreach, in my opinion. Personal opinion. Wolfram knows. I'm not reading that out loud, Wolfram, but yes. The F-22 pilot who told the Iranian F-4s you better go home now is now a P-51 pilot with the Commemorative Air Force. Bro, I would kill to meet that dude. Like, I want to know details. Like, where did you approach from? Where did they approach from? Like, how far out were you? Were they in international skies? Were they, how close were they to the Reaper? Do you really think they were going to drop that drone? Like, HLC needs to be parented? Probably. You can ask my wife. She feels like she's my parent on a pretty regular basis. Yo, guys, I have a question. So, certain types of recreational substances are legal here in the state of New Mexico. Don't worry, I'm still technically active duty and I'm on terminal. I have not partaken. However, once I do retire, I'm inferring some things here. So if doesn't work and you've been drinking too much, we refer to that as whiskey dick. That's a very common term. Well, the other night I was racking my brain, and what I came up with, my wife doesn't agree with it at all, is if you add too many of those and things didn't work. I called it steamed broccoli. Because like broccoli is firm until like it gets steamed and then like, so I don't know, and it's green, like I don't know. That's kind of what I went with. Zach Brown's like, yet, yeah, exactly. So I think we should just start that. I don't know if anyone has a term for it. I don't even know if it actually happens, but I think that we should start that term. Oh, he's gonna have steamed broccoli. Yeah, that's where we're at. So spark it up and find out. Well, yeah, once I'm out, get a good water pipe, get your head right and get it. Wilted asparagus. Green makes it better. Does it? Hey, I have to learn something. Hope you're having a good day. Did you know that the gene editing tool CRISPR is now starting to use language models that allow other scientists to configure it? Also, can we get a Scotland? I know, I need to bring in Scotland. Maybe I can have Scotland kind of back up Poland. I got to look into Scottish politics and stuff a little bit more, because like I just did Scotland as like a kind of a slapstick humor, and it kind of caught on. My God, I got way behind. I'm sorry, guys. Here, Thailand has bought Saab Gripens. I don't know how to say that word, for the Air Force. Weird to see those jets in that part of the world. I mean, a lot of, I don't know if they're being replaced from whatever country they bought them from by American jets, but I know a lot of countries are doing that. They're buying new like F-35s. Some people are buying like upgraded like F-18s. I mean, Taiwan has gotten a bunch of F-16s and stuff like that. The F-16 is the most widely exported jet on the planet. I don't know if you know this, but the Prince of UAE has his own F-16. Yeah, we used to have to clear the airspace. And then we would just sit there. They were like, shut off your radars. Like, we're not supposed to be even watching this. And I'm like, he's right there. And the dude's up there doing barrel rolls and shit. And they're like, yeah, the Prince has the airspace for at least part of today. Can you imagine being so fucking stupid rich? You're like, I'm going to go take my F-16 out for a spin. Can we get the dog a bigger screen? I should give him a bigger screen than me. I really should. Could I imagine having my own F-16? And I would love to have my own F-16. But yeah, no, I have no idea. Dragonov, thank you so much as well. Without any bias, rate Iranian missiles out of 10. Oh, the TISM just tickled. So I got to break this down into categories, okay? Because a missile is not a missile is not a missile. So when we're talking air-to-air missiles, I don't think they have any that are like a 3 out of 10, if that. And those are just ones they bought from their friends. Ballistic missiles, I feel like 6 or 7, somewhere in there, like 6.5. They have a lot of them. Not all of them are really good, but they do have a few good ones, and they're trying to produce more. The thing is, they don't have ICBMs. There's only like 6 countries in the world that have ICBMs. Maybe 7. Let me see. And then for anti-ship missiles, like a 1.
Would you intercept me?
Daniel Bernstein.
Intercept me.
So no spoilers, but you should do 2 things while reading that book. 1. Read/watch some of the lore videos on the Great Crusade and the Dark Age of Technology. 2. Keep in mind that the M113 is still active in the grim darkness of the far future.
Dude, the 113, maybe I should create a tracked fucking grandpa, and that'll be the 113. That thing has been around. It has survived 3 different tanks that the United States has used. It came out around the same time as the M48, a little after the M48, and then stuck around for the M60, and then the M1 Abrams. Dude, that's a long fucking track record. Not as long as Grandpa Buff. And then let me see. Yeah, that was all the missile categories I could really think of. But yeah, that's where I'd rate the missiles. Homie the Clown? Oh my god, Homie don't play that. Dude, I haven't seen that name in forever. Subdude's weird but usually cool. Subnukes make subdudes look normal. I've never met a subnuke. I'm assuming you mean like the nuclear, like the person who works on the reactor and shit. I've never met one of those. I did learn some cool things about submarines. I got a friend of mine, Dr. Kozak, he's one of the mods. He usually works Fridays, so like we're not able to do this, which I was playing some Titanfall with him last weekend, I think. We just play on the North Star servers, and I always learn new cool shits about submarines from him. Not like weapons. Weapons just tries to lie to me about aircraft, and I know I'm right, but he's like my Make-A-Wish mod. I don't know if I've used that joke before, but it's great. Your shippy is a nuker? They're the weirdest? Craig Harp, holy shit.
I'd intercept me.
Where's Wither?
I don't know where Wither is, man. Maybe he's off doing, maybe the CIA retasked him. Or did he say he's not my FBI agent? Is FBI or CIA? I don't know. I'm federal level. I think it's CIA. Well, I mean, FBI is also federal. I'm just being monitored. I'm not being investigated, so I think he'd be CIA. Watch Helsing Abridged, bro. Literally treated a blackbird like a missile. Sweet Jesus. I think I've seen parts of Helsing Abridged. I will tell you guys right now, you know what I watched last night with the wife? So every once in a while, I will tell you, taking breaks is important. I straight up hit burnout. I'm going to be totally transparent with you guys. I've hit burnout and I've hit it hard because if I'm not creating content, I'm working in the house. If I'm not working on the house, I'm like making coordination for other content and future things. Like I just never stop. So I hit burnout and my wife was like, we're just going to chill today. We're just going to chill. First she took me out to a movie and then was like, we're going to chill. But last night we watched, what was it called? K-pop Demon Hunters. I didn't like it. There's a lot of holes in it, and there's some weird things, and I just like the soundtrack was great, and I mean the what's what I'm looking for, art style was great. Just couldn't get into it. Big fan of HLC. Golden Shellback. Was that mean 4 generations plus of Navy? Grandpa was a minesweeper. Dad was air traffic controller. Uncle Aviation Electronics. I was ex-nuke electrician's mate. My son's active duty saturation diver. Fuck. Saturation diving? But you're also a shellback. I'm not a shellback. Kind of jealous of that. For those of you who don't know, who may be here, and the only reason I know this is because my brother just retired from the Navy. One of my brothers. Well, he retired like 2 years ago. He was a shellback. So what happens is when you're on a ship or in the Navy and you cross the equator, they do something called WOG Day, which has been kind of watered down throughout the years. It's like realistically, it's kind of a big hazing thing, but it's a celebration for everybody going across, and then you become a shellback. Sugar Daddy. Oh yeah. Wither? Is Wither here? Wither. He's like in here and he's just like, I'm out of money, which is great. It's fine. Yarn Hub. Is that a website or a place or a person on YouTube? Has a video on that versus MiG-29s. Really? Greetings from Vietnam. Holy shit. I don't think I've ever had anyone show from Vietnam. I would love to see your take on the U.S. military versus sci-fi series that are closer to our world, like U.S. military versus aliens. Yes, that is on my list. I actually have been working on my more recent USA versus the world, but with this one, I'm having some trouble getting the information I need. I may enlist the help of my mods, just have like a mod night and be like, hey, this is the information I'm looking for. Let's see what you guys find. And just like send them all out. Then I'd probably have to pay them. I still got to get them their fucking merch, man. I usually like send out like merch, like baggy things to like mods. And I just haven't. I have a whole file that has all the details on it. I haven't. I got to grab that, send it over to my guy, John, at Bunker, pay for it all, and then send it all out. It's on my list. Enlist. I don't know. Words are hard, man. The pilot equipped up on the F4 and his F-22 would be a great unsub guest, just saying, oh, bro. I mean, I don't have any control over who the unsub hires, but if I make that connection, I'll be like, yo, Eli, I know the guy who done did it. And he'll be like, you got his number? Yes, I do. If I had any control, do a barrel roll. Okay. Gonna warn you now, HLC, Scottish people are awesome. Scottish politicians are so far left, they make centrists look far right. Really? Did not expect that from Scotland. Although Scotland kind of just, at least, you know, for the last couple hundred years, Scotland just kind of chilled. I mean, but I will say that Scotland is the only country who has produced somebody who hurt the British so bad that they refused to acknowledge that he existed. William Wallace, in case you guys didn't know that. The British think he didn't exist. The Scots believe he did. There's varying opinions on either side, and there's varying evidence on both sides. I know I talked about the COSA bill trying to get passed, but you should look into the Screen Act bill, also trying to get passed in the US. And Australia is going to be implementing internet censorship in December. Dude, what happened to Australia, man? You guys used to be so, like, free everything. Like, just fucking leave people alone, man. And I don't know, man. Australia, man. Are the Russians still building and using the S-500? So, with that, the S-500 is, from what I understand, they have one production model. And I wanted it so much to be true, but I was unable to find additional sources that confirmed it to be true. There's rumors that Ukraine had destroyed it. But as much as I got to check my bias there, as much as I want it to be true, I got to find source material on it. Just like with Patriot. And like when Germany was like, yeah, we repaired a Patriot radar. That's the first outside confirmation I've seen of Patriot getting hit. Like that right there. So I was like, oh shit, Patriot has actually been hit. Aside from what I knew was previously hit, which was, I can say it now, a launcher. So I think they're still building it, but it's weird, man. So like the US and Russia have two very different approaches to air defense in general. I'm going to let this play. I just saw it come in.
Would you intercept me? I'd intercept me.
Greetings from Myrtle Beach, HLC. I had a wonderful week in paradise but have to go back to Ohio tomorrow.
Oh,
Cheers.
I mean, I hear at least the Air Force Museum is in Ohio, so you got that, man. But I understand it pales in comparison to Myrtle Beach. But I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much, Unlawful. Hang on, there. Scroll down. Unlawful Zergling.
Would you intercept me?
Oh man, Oxitaku again.
I don't know if you watch anime at all, but I'll give you my recommendation. It's a show called Violet Evergarden. Without spoiling anything, it's about a girl that was trained as a living military weapon, reclamating to normal society and learning emotion.
That actually sounds really cool. I may have to check that out. I was told I need to watch Gate, and I haven't because I haven't had any time. I say that when I'm like, oh yeah, we watched a movie last night. That's kind of a rare thing. But anyways, for the S-500, the US and Russia look at air defense a little bit differently. Russia focuses on range, which is not wrong. It's just a different tactic. The US focuses on fidelity. So with their S-500, like the missiles, yes, they can reach higher, but that's because they can detect further. You know what I'm saying? Like we learned a long time ago that like early detection is a good tool to have, but you don't need early engagement. So we look at it a little bit differently, which is look at it like, how can I explain range versus fidelity? Let me think on this one for a minute. Gate, you love Gate weapons? I gotta figure out where to watch it. I ship meow. Hang on. Oh, I wasn't sure if I got a message from Mrs. Linecrosser. She usually, like, if I say something stupid, she's like, you need to do this. I ship meow. How's Civvy life? Also, will you be in the Unsub Midwest tour? Your birthday, your birdie. It won't let you guys call me a pepperback. That's great. I'm going to one of the shows for sure. I don't know if more than that. Eli's the one running everything, and there's a method to the madness. So Eli wants to make sure the shows are fresh and that they have the right people to vibe with other people. So here's hoping. The Mark 58 lithium-powered torpedo. I have not heard of the Mark 58, and that sounds really fucking cool. So that's where I'm going. Mark 58. I will remember that because I know the Mark 41 VLS and the Mark 50. Oh my God, now I got it. 52, the one that we currently use. Or is it the Mark 48? I think it's the Mark 48. Yeah, 41 VLS, 48 torpedo. Yeah. Been a little while. Broken Arrow gameplay when? I'll be honest with you, man. I didn't really like. It looks cool. It's aesthetically pleasing, but there's so much that you have to do. It's very like, I want to try and learn like a little bit more about the game. And right now I just don't have the time to pick that up. It's like every unit has their own individual like options for what you can do with it. And I'm like that. I don't have the time for that shit. Can I tell me what the F-22 thinks of the F-23 Black Widow or what the F-23 acts like?
What am I tell you? The F-23, it acts like a bitch. And it's been pretty upset ever since it got sent to the island of unfinished projects, which I will be doing a video series on sooner or later.
I will be doing a video series on sooner or later.
Yeah, get it right, you fucking fat piece of shit.
Listen, kid. I forgot like y'all could see me right now for a second. So yeah. Am I familiar with last summer's Valiant Shield exercising? Interesting results. Sounds lessons learned similar to the Grenada invasion. Check it out if you're not up on it. Love your stuff. You just be making shit. No, I'm unfamiliar with Valiant Shield, but I'll look into it. Mark 58 and Valiant Shield. Those are on my lists. Yarnub is not a Noto website. It's a YouTube channel that makes animated documentaries from history. You would like it or promise it, or I'll unsubscribe. I'll take a look at it. Yarn Hub. I'll take a look. It's in a book. Weapons boyfriend. William Wallace sounds cool, but he'll never be as cool as Mad Jack Churchill. I'm familiar with Mad Jack Churchill. Last man to get a recorded kill in war with a bow, Scottish legend. Yes. I'm familiar with Mad Jack Churchill. Wasn't he? There's a picture of him that I saw of him like charging in an amphibious assault, like from a boat with a saber and a kilt. No, he didn't have a kilt. Maybe he did. Mad Jack Churchill. I can see part of the picture, but now I can't remember if he had a kilt or not. Happy you play Helldivers. I was wondering if you were Malevolent. If you were, I salute you. If not, spill more oil. I was at Malevolent Creek. I was at the creek. At the first battle, I was at the creek. What does the XF-85 Goblin sound like? I think I've seen that, but I can't remember. Oh.
We must get to the precious.
Maybe?
We must kill the Japaneses.
I don't fucking know. More people asking Missile Guy about planes. I know, right? It's probably because I know him more than like everyone out there. Funny how Beans on Toast went from being Mighty Empire to wanting to censor everything and threatening everyone with prison talking against them. It's wild. I don't like to what's the word I'm looking for? Sensationalize things, but kind of seems like that's the fall of their civilization. Now I understand the United Kingdom has been around for over 1,000 years, but empires rise and fall. Sooner or later, the United States won't exist. It'll be the United Earth because we're going to take all that shit. I'm sorry. That was rude. That picture of Mad Jack was on D-Day? Gangster. That's gangster shit. 2 weeks in the stockade for me? Oh. Yeah, you can't talk shit about it, man. They're gonna come and knock on your door. Oi, have you lot said this in this chat? If this was you and not a member of your family, we're gonna take you to lock up. So you're gonna have to come with us. I'm sorry. Oh, man. Humanity unite after lunch. Yes, Super Earth. U.S. is like Buff. It's forever. You know, he will probably be there if the U.S. ever falls. If the U.S. is ever just... I think the U.S. could benefit. I feel like the U.S. and the United Kingdom and a lot of other places could benefit from some tough love. Now, the problem with tough love is, to somebody who is educated in history, tough love is on this paper thin line where if you go too far, you're in fascism. So you got to like skirt that line really, really careful. But I feel like the U.S. could really benefit from some tough love. Look at me, look at my lips. Are you talking about, wait, who, me? Knox is being really good. He's the best boy. He's the goodest boy who ever done did live. He's just over there panting. How'd he know I was beautiful? I know. Wait, is it me or him? Is the B1B still in service? Yes, technically. He is well conditioned. Goonies never say die. How about Buff Love?
What do you want to know about Buff? We're not quite at Protocol 4 yet. You chill. I got 3 minutes. You chill your fucking self.
I don't even know how many we got in chat right now. Oh my god. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to yawn right in your face. Mrs. Linecrosser, bring me caffeine. Now, wench. She's gonna kill me. Totally joking here, but Britain's nuclear arsenal is not all a risk of... Wait, the UK has oil? Why didn't you say that? You should have led with that. We could go over there and help them out. We're great at nation building. Will the US ever replace Grandpa Buff? Yes. Hold on. With the newer model of Grandpa Buff. I think that's just what it's going to be forever, in perpetuity. Like, for the rest of, like, when the universe ends, when the universe finally just is kaput, there's going to be like 3 things there.
I'd intercept.
Hold on,
It's
Oxtaku.
not just Britain, Australia is doing it as well, and the USA, Canada and the European Union are all also trying to pass bills to force internet censorship, not to mention the payment processors like MasterCard and Visa's censoring things as well.
You're absolutely correct. Let me finish this joke about Buff, and I want to get to that. There's 3 things that are going to be left when the universe ends. 3 things. Keith Richards, cockroaches, Grandpa Buff. Like, that's it. That's all that's going to be left when the universe ends. They're just going to be sitting there next to each other, floating in nothingness. And they're going to be like, what do you want to do now? And Buff's immediately going to be like,
Well, you better break out that fucking Colombian Bam Bam, man. We got nothing but time.
So, oh, you said the C-130 is going to be there too? Maybe. That thing's been around for a long time. But so with the U.S. Passing bills for internet censorship, I will tell you, this is not for the reason you think it is. Now, hear me out. I'm not one of those that, like, it's not about protecting the children, it's about government control. While, yes, that is true, Gaza changed everything. We have people in the United States of America, en masse, who, reminder, 24 years ago, the United States suffered the worst terrorist attack in its history. The worst attack in its history. 3,000 people died from terrorism. And now you have people, 24 years later, praising terrorism. That's when the powers that be in the government realized that social media is a far more powerful tool. The internet is a far more powerful tool, especially when it comes to propaganda, than they ever could have imagined. So it's not so much about like wanting to control the people, it's to try and keep that out of the impressionable young ones.
I'd intercept me.
Hey man, don't want to sound like an absolute PRCK, sent you a message on X which should tickle your autism. Would appreciate your glance over it greatly, since you're one of the few people I actually trust. Will Carday.
Oh man, I haven't checked. I gotta check my Twitter DMs. You said it over on X? Oh, not that button. Wilkard A. I'm looking for one named Wilkard A or Sam. There's a lot of them in here. Sorry, I tell you what, do me a favor. Ping one of my mods in my Discord and have them, because I'll forget. I'm bad with names, so have them like so I can get your Twitter name and I'll search for it. I just don't have time right this second. I'm sorry. Everyone DM me right now. I know, right? Smeagol, you would say that. But as long as guns, alcohol, and the buff exist, America will never die. Yep, you know, that's probably pretty accurate. You not know what that is? Who knows what? Not know what? And the 1911. Yeah, the 1911 is going to, like, okay. So when it comes to the 1911, it is an iconic piece of American history. Just like when I say the battleship, Iowa-class battleships, are an iconic piece of American history. But I also know that a modern-day Arleigh Burke could fucking sink one before they even knew it was there, okay? It's just technology changes, right? I still think that the Iowa is a beautiful ship. So when it comes to the 1911, for the weight and size, modern weapons are just kind of better in every way. Nothing against the 1911. I love it. An iconic weapon. I don't own one. I probably should. But yeah. Colt, also Mr. Linecrosser. Hold on. I'm trying to keep up here. I got it open on YouTube because YouTube will let me scroll as far up as I want to. OBS like stops me after a certain amount. Screw you, Visa. Just use your card to give your money. HLC call you out on a live stream. What are you gonna do about it? Well played. Well played. The internet is the greatest weapon mankind has developed to date, and while many of our enemies realize this, we do not in the West. No, that's absolutely true. And you know, one of the things that Ryan Macbeth said, it just is stuck in my head. Ryan Macbeth does have some hot takes. I love Ryan. He's a friend of mine. But one of the things he said was, you don't buy a gun because you want a gun. You buy a gun because you want a bullet hole in something, right? Or protection. Like it serves a purpose. It's an effector. Just like you buy a missile, not because you want a missile, but because you want to blow something up with that missile when you need that missile, right? You buy an effector. So you could either shoot a bridge with a missile and blow it up, or you could convince a bunch of fucking idiot college kids to glue their hands to the bridge for Gaza and stop emergency services and have the same effect. So it is absolutely can be. The internet is not entirely a weapon, but it can be weaponized. And the US is figuring that out. And that's why this censorship bill got streamlined. Because it's about protecting kids. No, it's not. It's about keeping propaganda out of our young people's hands. Which, again, slippery slope all the way into fascism there. It's a very slippery slope. I understand the intent. I understand why they're doing it. I can't think of a better way to do it. It just sucks. Sometimes things just suck. Feed the dog. Oh shit, it is that time. He's starving to death. I'm gonna grab this bag. Oh yeah, he heard it. Immediately. You know, when I call for you 3 or 4 times outside and you're eating grass, I wish your hearing was that good. Did you just inhale your own tongue? Speak. Are you okay? Speak. Speak. There we go. Okay, that was a little speak. He was like coughing and hacking. He's like, and then he would like lean down and cough. Did I know the BR-55 rifle in Halo, the battle rifle, good old battle rifle, fires 9.5 by 40 high power semi-armor piercing round. 9.5. That couldn't be the standard issue weapon in NATO. It couldn't. A 9mm rifle round, 9.5mm rifle round. That's a big goddamn round. Knox, you get your fat ass back in here, bud. Knox, come on. So Iowa hull full of VLS. Now we're talking. If only HLC listened to us and went to that, yeah, I'll go there eventually. Just imagine a battleship with modern armament and one massive turret for traditional firepower. No, they did that. They put VLS on some of the battleships. It was like their last build before they like got rid of them. Knox, bed. You go to bed. I love you, bud. He's looking up at me with these big old eyes like, can I have a snack? All right, Knox. Go on. Go lay down. Good boy. Some EU countries consider Patriot rocket... So Blue Jay, I'm how do I don't like being mean on stream, and I'm not trying to be mean to you. I promise. Patriot doesn't have ground targeting capabilities. However, there is a caveat. You can shut off several safeties that are there because Patriot is specifically only used for air targets, and you could technically target ground targets if they were moving at the right speed to not fall between the filters, and you had a clear line of sight. I think you mean the S300 and S400. That has ground attack capability. I'm not sure how effective it is. Patriot wouldn't be very effective in general. The charge on board is relatively small for a Pack 2, and then for a Pack 3, I mean, it would punch a big hole in something, that's for sure, on a Pack 3. Thoughts on lever action rifles? I love them. I have a 4570 Henry. The gold boy with the copper body. Yeah, fucking love that thing. Box launchers are not VLS. Yeah, they are. They're close enough. I know they're not VLS. I thought they actually had VLS on them. I thought they had like one or two cells. Knox is a precious boy. Y'all want to see where he is? I'm going to turn the puppy camera. Okay, stay. He doesn't belong in that little bed, but he thinks he should. Oh, your dad just gave you a golden boy for your 20th birthday? Solid rifle, man. Solid rifle. They're just fun. Where's the bald dog Fritz? He is with Mrs. Linecrosser right now. They're in the other room. He likes to go to the bathroom in my game room while I'm, when I say game room, it's more like my office, while I'm working. And that's a real big buzzkill. I think, was it 2 streams ago, he pissed in my game room? Yep. Buff, and also the M2 Browning, you know that's fair. The M2, it's if you were to remove all classification of guns, right? Like someone goes, what is the best gun ever made? And for me, without question, is the M2 heavy barrel 50 caliber machine gun. It's just, it fires cold, it fires hot, it fires dirty, it sometimes doesn't like firing clean. Like that's the only drawback of it. It's resilient. You can pump a ton of rounds through that thing. It's a good all around weapon. Like it is a solid weapon to have on the battlefield. And everyone just watch Knox go ahead and eat his butthole. Knox, stop it. Hey, quit licking your butt. You stop. Don't. There we go. They need to be more descriptive with the bill and exactly what it will do and affect instead of being completely vague and putting the bill up for interpretation, whatever they want to do with it. Exactly. The government inherently has to be specific. And you can hear this from any law enforcement professional, any lawyer. If it is inspecific, it is, number one, easier to fight. And number two, it is easier to abuse. Laws have to be specific. Like I just learned something recently, and thus far, I mean, I did a little bit of research on it. I can't find it to be untrue that apparently, I don't know, I hope I can say this word on YouTube. Cannibalism is not explicitly outlawed in the United States. However, everything that you would have to do to possess a human body to engage in that act is illegal. It's kind of wild. The Deuce baby when you want. Oh man, the M2, she's just a good all-around weapon system. The legit only drawbacks is it doesn't like to fire clean, which is not really a problem after you pump a couple rounds through it. And it's fucking heavy. Like everyone's like, oh, it has the lightweight tripod now. That bitch with the tripod, the body, and the barrel is like over 100 pounds. Probably close to 150, if not 2. Like it's a heavy bitch. I think the body alone weighs like 50 to 70 pounds, somewhere in there. It's a heavy bitch. But it's a good weapon. It is a real good weapon. Oh, the M5 assault rifle on Halo fires 7.62 by 5.1. So it fires NATO rounds. Or SAP rounds. I'm not heard the term SAP. I've heard of SLAP, like Sabo light armor piercing, but maybe it's like Sabo armor piercing. This could be the only Halo rifle that would be standard issue for NATO. 7.62 by 5.1 is very similar to 308. I can't remember if it's 308 can fire 7.62 by 5.1 or 7.62 by 5.1 can fire 308. Kind of like the whole 5.56 and 2.23 thing. One can fire the other, but the other one can't fire the first one. I can't remember how that is. Somebody who's a gun nut in chat is going to be like, oh, this is exactly how this works. Oh, okay. How does it feel to have the sweet DD214? It's bittersweet. It really is. I actually called today, and for the first time in a while, because I'm still technically active, I was like, hey, my name is Ethan. I need to get an ID card, like a retired ID card. And they're like, oh, okay. Is this just to replace your old retired ID card? I was like, oh, no, I'm on terminal right now. And she's like, oh, well, what rank are you? And I had to think about it for a second. I was like, oh, Sergeant First Class? Dear HLC, the atomic bomb's 80th anniversary reminds me, how do we prevent future leaders from using them? Which will such horrors happen soon? I hope not. Right now, the main thing that is stopping everybody from pulling that trigger is mutually assured destruction. And that's not even just like they have nukes, we have nukes. I can't remember the name of the damn treaty. I'm sure Weapons probably knows it off the top of his fucking head. But there's a treaty that like every single nuclear capable nation in the world is on. And it's like if one person fires a nuke at anyone, friend, foe, whoever, everyone else is going to use theirs. Like, so if we would have dropped a nuke in Afghanistan, everybody's firing their nukes.
Intercept me.
What is heavier? The M2 GAU-8, a Navy Chi-4 WPNS 175.
Oh my God. Why? Dude, Weapons Cat, he's catching all the strays today, man. He is catching all the strays. That being said, the answer is obviously Weapons Mom. I'm just kidding. It's the GAU-8. It's the GAU-8. Weapons, we love you. I think 5-1 for the 308. Okay. See, capitalism has got me covered. Capitalism FGC 308 can fire 7.62 by 5.1 and 5.56 can fire 2.23. There we go. Weapons has his own movie now. But yeah, no, it's mutually assured destruction. That's really what's stopping everyone from doing it. Is it like, so like this is the thing. If Russia fires a nuke into Ukraine, everyone's going to fire nukes. So like, that's the only reason they probably haven't, because I would love, as fucked up as it is, and I genuinely believe Russia's invasion of Ukraine was the wrong answer. However, I would love to sit down with like a Russian general or colonel and be like, who's fucking up? And like, just try and get to the bottom of it. Like, is it you that's stupid? Is it everyone below you that's stupid? Like, what's with the meat wall tactics? Like, you're not doing combined arms techniques. Your logistics infrastructure is fucking hot ass. You have commanders stealing from each other on the front lines. There's no professionalism in your fucking military. Like, what is happening? Like, we used to look at you as near peer. And now I used to use videos of Russia and like examples of Russia in Ukraine to teach my students about the principles of mission command, because Russia doesn't use them. It's so wild, man. 30-06 can fire through level 3 armor. Seriously? I mean, 30-06 that's fucking, that round's moving. Have I ever read Red Storm Rising by Tom Clancy? I have never read a Tom Clancy book. I actually hear they're pretty good. I played The Division and The Division 2. Pretty decent stories. It's about a hot war between NATO and the USSR, one of my favorites. I might have to check out Red Storm Rising. Play the new Battlefield, man. I can't yet. I don't have the little code that everyone else got. It's coming. I get it, or I get to play it tomorrow. He cannot read. He was in the army. What did I not read? Weapons has gone from like, hey, you know, I'm a mod. Let's get everyone access to the Discord to like join the Discord, help me fight HLC. I read good. I learned a book once. That teaching lady tried telling me that I didn't know how to read words good, and I told her the only words I need are freedom and fucking gun. And then I told her the only colors I need are red, white, and blue. Fucking commie bitch. I'm sorry. You have a Model 70 and 30-06? Ooh. I have a 30-06. It's a Remington. I don't know what it is, but I have a 30-06. Love that 30-06. Me and Nick go to the U.S. Air Force Museum. I need the live action voice of the planes. It's on my list, man. I'm trying. Like, I feel like some people in like my videos and chats who found out that I've been trying to go to the U.S. Air Force Museum have called. And it seems like the public affairs representative, by the way, his name is Mr. Greenless, Greenlees. He is very upset and a quote, not entertaining podcast right now, even though we're not a podcast. He just has no idea what he's talking about. And this is what I've been telling everyone. And this is what I told General George, by the way, the Army Chief of Staff, or excuse me, the Army Chief of Staff. And I told Sergeant Major Weimer, the Sergeant Major of the Army. I told both of them to their face, your public affairs civilians at all of your installations are afraid of their own fucking shadow. If you want to succeed, fire them. Because they're all afraid. Just like this guy is afraid. Well, I don't know what they're about, and they're not real official, and they didn't go through the proper blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. And that's fine. That's fine. We're just going to play this game. We'll play this fucking game. And I'm going to show this gentleman how much of a bully that I can be. Because I really want to go to the Air Force Museum. It's no beef. Like, there's no beef. Look, man, I'm trying to do the right way. Now we're going to do it the fun way. Or the easy way. Yeah, we're talking Dayton. I've had several people reach out to their contacts there, their friends there, trying to figure out, boom, what's going on.
I'd intercept me.
Yeah.
WPNS mom is the highest pressure weapon I've ever seen.
What? Hold on, guys. Like, normally I'm the only one who can give weapons shit. Y'all are going ham on this guy. What did he do to you? Don't turn into Tucker. If you do an interview with a Russian, please. No, I don't. Like, I just want to know. Like, I just want to know. Like, are they that dumb? Oh my God, this is the missus. Yes, Mrs. Line Crosser. Okay. Oh, I mean, this is the thing. I already sent some messages to Eli about contacting General George. Okay. All right, love you. Bye. Yeah, this did turn into the weapons roast. She's like, I don't think it's personal. Okay. Museum suggests a Marine Corps Museum in Quantico, Virginia. I was just in Virginia. I didn't know they had one there. About an hour or so south of DC, right down the street from me. Cool place. You know what's interesting? Zach, veteran with a sign, has been eager. He was like, I would love to go. Because I talked to him about going on the Underwhelming podcast with him and Nick. And he's like, would you guys have me on a Habitually Fat? Yes, I absolutely would. Zach is an awesome human. I was like, I just need to do something Marine related. And that's right up his alley. I may pencil that one in the future. I don't know when we'll go. I want to see the M82 Barrett versus the AK-50. I mean, I think the Barrett's going to outreach, but the 50, the AK is going to have going to have a lot more rounds you can put through it. All right, it did that thing where it jumps down. I had to go back up. Guns in 7.62 can shoot 308, but not the other way around. Same applies to 5.56 and 2.23. See, that's something I probably need to know because I do want to build an AR with Brandon. I told Brandon, I was like, look, if I buy the parts, can you teach me how to build a gun? And he's like, yeah, what are you trying to build? I was like, AR? And he's like, dude, that takes like an hour. I've never done it, man. I don't know how to build guns. I've built computers. I've built cars. And now I'm learning building house shit. And I was like, you know what? I want to learn how to build a gun. So that's where I'm at. A bad Tommy gun beats a good commie gun any day of the week. Remember, my daughter calls you typical border intruder, 13-year-olds. Okay. And I hate to admit this. I hate to. So last creator range day I went to, everyone else geeks out about like, oh, this AR and this, like, I go to the tables that have the old guns. I like old guns. I'm a history nerd, and I walk up and they had a straight up grease gun. They had an M1 Garand. They had a PPSH. They had a Thompson. They had the, was it the German, is it Luger, right? Yeah. They had all that shit. So I was like, I want to go straight down the line, right? Grease gun, yeah, it's kind of a letdown. I'll be honest with you. It's boring. It's it's kind of boring. Thompson, there's a lot of firepower coming out of the end of that Thompson. I will tell you that, but it's hard to control. Short bursts, hard to control. The PPSH, I was blown away. It is so stable and it is just a bullet hose. This is like the only thing Russia ever did right. Just that thing is, and it was like steady. It was so nice. I did fire, and someone said the bar fan. They had a bar, Browning automatic rifle. They had one. And I was like, I really want to fire that. And they were like, it's cooling down right now because too many people wanted to shoot it. And the guy from Denver Bullets is a fan of my channel. And he's like, you come back, you let me know. We'll let this cool off. I'll let you fire the BAR. And I went back there. And the BAR, if you've never held one, super front heavy. And I was like, okay, it's got a lot of weight on the front end. And when I fired it, I don't know. I mean, that's just fucking John Browning in general. But like when you fire that thing, it's like perfectly balanced that the recoil offsets the weight of the front of that gun. I don't know how it does it. It's fucking wizardry. But as soon as I emptied that mag, it empties the mag pretty quick. It's a whoop, up, and it just done. And as soon as I emptied that mag, I let go of the trigger and I looked at the guy and I was like, this is why we won World War II. Like without any question in my mind, I was like, that is the reason we won World War II. I was just blown away by the BAR. I was very impressed with that. I mean, John Browning. I mean, it's the way it is. M60, not friendly to left-handed people. Just in case you guys didn't know, like the guy picked it up, I Rambo'd it, and he's like, you're gonna burn your neck. You're a left-handed shooter. And I was like, I'm fine. I fired a saw. In case you guys didn't know, the ejection port on a saw is on the right-hand side. So basically, if you're a left-handed saw shooter, you're blind most of the time. Just thought I'd throw that out there. I was not fine. If you guys ever saw that episode of The Unsub when I was on there, I had burn marks on my neck, and that was from an M60. It's Russia. Human wave tactics are just Russia. That's fair. Patriot versus Sam PT with the Arabelle radar. Oh,
Would you intercept
Cena!
me? I'd intercept me.
Hey HLC, my first time catching a stream, usually trucking across America, and I just get to my delivery at JB. I don't drive for M, and wanted to show up since I can finally catch one. Hope you're having a great weekend.
I'm having a pretty good weekend. I can't complain. I still got more work to do. I was trying to do crown molding. Did you also know that I fully understand why houses don't have crown molding and it's very expensive nowadays? It's because it's a fucking pain in the ass to put in. Not a fun experience regardless, but I digress. Thank you so much for being here, Sina Vojdani. So the Patriot versus Sam PT, or Sam T. Comparing air defense systems in general is difficult, but I'll try. Patriot for range and I would say Patriot for range and fidelity. Sam PT for mobility and cost of ammunition. Because Patriot takes a little while to pack up once you unpack it. I can't say how long. I don't know if I'm like, that's one of those things that like, I always err on the side of caution. If I don't know I can say it, I just don't say it. Simplicity of design, Sam PT. Ease of hacking. Now, I don't know a whole lot about Sam PT, but based off of its commercial off-the-shelf components that it has for a lot of things, I would say that it's probably easier to hack Sam T than it is Patriot. And the only reason I say, okay, I can say this. The only reason I say that is because I was on a test mission where we had Army hackers, like people who, like civilians that worked for the Army, and their sole purpose is to break through encryption, hack into our system. And the only thing that saved us, on top of having to come up with some new like TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures right there on the spot of like what we could do and how fast we had to be at certain things and what buttons we could and couldn't hit and like what we were paying attention to. Aside from that, the only thing that saved us was the proprietary Patriot hardware that was inside there. We had certain keys on our Patriot keyboard that they didn't have. So there was certain things that they had to wait for us to get into before they could have any effect on that. And that actually made us a lot harder to crack into. Like they were able to get in, but with the right kind of hardware and software, you can get into anything. But I would say that because Patriot is number one, so old, and number two, very proprietary, that they kind of got that going for them. That's what I would have to say. Have I researched the anti-sub rocket missiles from the U.S. Aegis ships? Too long, didn't read. They're homing torpedoes with rocket boosters strapped on. Yes, I'm familiar with those. I actually, last time I was on Unsub, I talked about I called it a missile. Sorry. It's the anti-sub rocket. I explained how that it, gets nearby the target, has a parachute to splash down, but the parachute is not to not cause damage to the torpedo. It's so that it splashes down quieter. And then I explained how we're having they were getting the P-8 Poseidon high altitude glide torpedoes, which is just another very, very American thing. Like it's, I don't even like, I try and bring logic into everything. And that's why, like, the more I learn about American weapon systems and the more I will learn about just America in general is like that whole, we be building shit. Like we just be building shit. Like that's the way it is. Never in my life would I think like, you know what this world needs? A naval warfare jumbo jet. That would never, in my mind, like just pop into my head, like that the P-8 Poseidon even exists is just a wild concept to me. I don't even know why it exists. And I feel like in contested airspace, it's just not going to be that good. But Uncle Sam always has, like, look at this hand, look what I'm doing over here. But don't worry about the 13-inch knife I have in my back pocket. Uncle Sam just be doing that. So I don't know. Does he set out to make my brain hurt? You guys think this? It really is. The P-8 Poseidon is, tell me I'm wrong, that it's pretty much a 737 or 767, around that size, that hunts naval stuff, surface and submarines. Weapons all joining your fight against Timu Fat Electrician. I'm way behind. HLC, in your opinion, which Russia do you prefer, Imperial, Soviet, or present day? That's a tough one. Because they all have their major drawbacks. I mean, Imperial was kind of easy to control because they were starving their people, and their people were not very successful. Soviet was so big on like, we have all of this, which I mean, honestly, modern day is it's kind of like pseudo-Soviet in a way, because they're doing the same tactics. Like, we are amazing, we're great, we have this, we have that, ha ha ha, the West can't compete. So they're pretty much doing the exact same thing. It's just back then they were a little bit better funded than they are right now. And, I really need to look into why the USSR collapsed, because I know I make my jokes about it, but I wonder if it was like sanctions, trade deals, embezzlement, like what the whole thing was that made the Soviet Union collapse, aside from, communism. So that's a hard one. I'd say current day is probably the Well, Imperial's probably the lowest threat. Russia in 5 years, Team. When it's chasing subs in the middle of the ocean, it's a beast, dropping buoys and hurting ships. Yeah, it's just such a wild, like... this guy. Come on, weapons! They're kind of the same size. 737 and 767, they're the same... They're the same shape. Oh my God, I'm sorry. It's so worth it. I mean, they're definitely not 747 size. 747 is a big bitch. If not 767, why 767 shaped? Oh my God, this is the best stream I've ever had. He goes, I quit, fuck you.
Me?
Oh man.
I didn't
Oh
accept
man.
Did you hear that the new Corvette ZR1X is the first American car with a sub 6 minutes 50 seconds track time at the Nürburgring and is the 4th fastest production car around the track ever? The first fastest is $2 million. The Corvette is 200 grand.
I heard about that. I heard that the new Corvette ZR1 is breaking some serious records. That being said, I'm going to hurt some feelings. Okay. I actually brought this up. Me and Nick, we went to an auto museum and I got to auto-tiz him out. He's not too auto savvy. I am. And we saw the C8 Corvette there. And I asked the guy who was giving us the tour, he's a Corvette fan. He's a big time Corvette fan. And I was like, do you feel the C8 is a Corvette? I was like, before you answer, I don't, because the Corvette has always been a full body, front engine, rear wheel drive car. And his logic was that it was born out of necessity. When a lot of cars start hitting the engineering limit of putting it front engine, rear wheel drive, and you need to experiment more, you still push the envelope of like, what is a Corvette? Like a Corvette has always been a sports car. You just change the design. It still embodies that spirit of Corvette. So I don't know what your guys' like opinion is there. But yeah. Fun fact is military trials, the M1917 fired 39,500 rounds before experiencing its first failure. Of course, the M2 is practically that scaled up. Yeah, that checks out. Wasn't it the 1917 or was it the 1919? Or am I thinking, anyways, wasn't that what John Basilone used in Guadalcanal? Was it 1917 or 1919? The Black Sheep, his favorite aircraft, to get him started? Oh, no. No. What will trigger my buddy weapons? Pretty much anything said incorrectly about the A-10 or the F-35. He's both very happy about those. He's also, just so you know, very versed in history. It's the 1919? Okay. Texas Sheepdog, what's up? I want to go fast. I do want to go fast. I love that Dodge, and I'm a Mopar fan, even though it's FCA now, I'm tracking. But I love that they haven't lost their spirit of like bigger motor. And they're like, well, we can't fit a bigger motor. And they're like, cool, supercharger, cowl induction. Like, I love that spirit is still there. Like in the early 90s when EPA regulations really cracked down on a lot of people, like when they were building more fuel economy and things like that. And everyone else was like, we can, you know, because it was required, you got to get 300 or more miles to the tank in a production car. And everyone else, like Ford came out with like a 4.6 liter V8, Chevrolet, they changed over to electronic fuel injection on their small block Chevy, the 350s. And Dodge was like, bigger fuel tank? And everyone's like, yeah, bigger fuel tank. Let's just do bigger fuel tank. So like they come out with a 5.9, which was a fucking monster. And then they just like bigger fuel tank. So it's like a 37 gallon tank underneath that thing. Mopar, no car. Let's go. I love my Mopars. They have a CUDA in that, when you guys watch that Habitually Fat episode, there's a CUDA in there. There's obviously the new Demon. They got that, or maybe it was a Hellcat. I think it was a Demon. They got Roadrunner in there. They got an old Superbird in there. They had a lot of old Mopars. Like I was geeking out in the Mopar land. The Challenger they had in there, the old Challenger, is a 70 Challenger RT. I think that one, if I remember correctly, was plum crazy purple. And I was like, why didn't you guys go with the Vanishing Point car? And apparently at that collection, all of those cars are bought as is and displayed as is. So like they have to be perfect. They don't repaint any of them. They don't do any of the body work. They do a little bit of maintenance underneath the hood, but they're bought as is and like put on display. And I was like, that makes that car that much fucking cooler. Beautiful bastard, you did the UK Middle East accent. Your $100 will come the end of August. I always pay my fair share. I wish you'd make a full video with the UK Middle East accent. Yes, Mrs. Landcrosser. No, I'm fish. I'm not, like, obviously they still have to see the episode. She's like, no spoilers. Yeah, it's coming eventually. Like they know that I went there. Okay, love you, fish. Bye. You caught me live, George Casalillo, whatever. I won't make the UK fully Arab. I feel like I do have some British viewers, and I'm like, well, you know, I don't want to do them that dirty, but I figured they could get a good kick out of it. If the US started being like that, I'd absolutely do it, because I'm an American. I can fucking make those jokes. On today's YouTube video, you kind of implied the Patriot systems going to Ukraine don't have to worry about the Su-57s. Can I go into that further or not? Okay, so how do I want to word this? So I wasn't necessarily implying they don't have to worry about it. Any jet is a threat to a surface-to-air missile system. Can be a threat to a surface-to-air missile system. However, what I want to get at is the Su-57 does not meet American standards for stealth. So the radar cross-section of the F-22 is 0.000, is it 3 zeros or 4 zeros? It's either 3 or 4 zeros, 1 meter squared. The J-20 from Japan is 0.01 square meters, I believe. Or maybe it's 001. And the Su-57 is 0.1. Yeah. And so it has, he goes, stealth again. Yeah. So by US standards, it does not have the reduction in radar cross-section that you would need to be classified as a stealth aircraft. Under NATO, the Su-57 is classified as reduced visibility, which is still scary, still has some problems. But so when it comes to stealth, and we're talking about stealth and reduction in radar cross-section, is your radar is looking out there usually with a, active electronically scanned array or AESA radar. You have like pencil beams that kind of like beep, 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 beep. Like Patriot pumps out millions of them every second, just pencil beams that shoot out, right? And they bounce all over the place, and you get returns and stuff like that. And when you get those returns, you kind of get an idea of what an object is, how fast it's moving, its elevation. You get a lot of details about it, right? So stealth is not an infinite resource, meaning that the closer you get, even the F-22, the closer you get to an object, sooner or later, that radar is going to pick you up. The F-22 will, theoretically, close enough, get picked up by a Patriot radar. However, by the time it picks it up, it's probably going to be dead. The probability of a Su-57 being picked up by a radar before it's able to get its munition off is exponentially higher than if it were an F-22 or an F-35. So roughly, the Su-57 on radar is about 100 times larger than the F-22. So that's kind of where my brain is at with that. Does that make sense? There you go. Considered low observable. Thank you, Gappers. But keep in mind, certain cruise missiles are all considered low observable, but that's not necessarily due to like a stealth coating. I mean, some of them have that, but like it's also due to the flight profile. Like I tell people all the time, speed doesn't matter as much as the kinematic flight profile. Like, it matters. Speed matters. It helps. But it's like, think about it like this. When it comes to like missiles, a missile is like a car driving on a track, not a drag race where it's just boom, straight to the end, right? But like an actual track. A car that is faster, like accelerates better, can get beaten by a car that is slower if the car that is slower has better brakes. So it's a total concept. You have to have good turning, you have to have good grip, you have to have good brakes, you got to avoid body roll. Like, that's the easiest kind of parallel that I can explain to people. We've been jammed. Raspberry. Yes, you can jam. Yes, jamming is a very effective. With one Patriot radar, jamming is very effective. With 2 or 3, it's not as effective. I hope that makes sense. You'd love to see a collab with Zach Hazard? I'm unfamiliar with Zach Hazard. I may have to go check him out. I did go check out, who was it? Subbrief. I think we're friends on the old Twitter, the old X. C-130 is only useful in uncontested airspace. Yes, I want to. Yes, technically. However, comma, and weapons can correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't know of a single time that the U.S., when the enemy has aircraft, would ever send up a C-130 by itself. We strike package everything. Everything. So it's like when people say like F-22 versus, Su-57, it would never be a 1v1. You would have growlers jamming the fuck out of them. You'd have F-35s networked. You'd have F-22s. You'd have an AWACS sitting in the back. You'd have fucking AIM-154s on the bottom of F-18s that are outside of their sensor range. Like, we strike package everything. After everything we've seen with the Russian-Ukrainian war, would you change your USA versus Russia video? Yeah, I probably need to do an update. I most likely need to. I love how I got Wolfram to quit. Forgotten Sam's, Surprise Sam's, or as some of us like to call it. PPSH was great in part because it was heavily based on the Finnish Somis? I'm unfamiliar with that weapon at all. Good because stolen. That checks out. That totally checks out. Because weren't they still using was it cars? What was the bolt action shit that the Russians were still using in World War II? Like, the US, part of what like we were so good is all of our weapons were either semi-auto or auto, with the exception of some sniper rifles. What is the most underrated World War II plane? The Hawker Hurricane. I gotta hand it to the Brits. Gotta give credit where credit's due, right? The Hawker Hurricane. And the reason is the Hawker Hurricane carried a lot of the weight. The Spitfire was better in every measurable metric. However, the Spitfires were expensive and hard to make. Well, not hard to make, but they just required like more aluminum. The Hawker Hurricane was just a wooden fucking contraption. And like, for every one Spitfire that was coming out of a factory, you'd get 5 to 10 Hawker Hurricanes. Cass is Cass. P-38. I love a good P-38. There's nothing, but I think that they asked for the most underrated. And I feel like the Hawker Hurricane was the most underrated of World War II. I feel like the P-38 is aptly rated. I feel like the P-51 is aptly rated. I feel like the Stuka, aptly rated. The Mosin Nagant. There we go. Thank you. Mosquito for the win. I have a story for P-38 that he has. I know, there's things that I'm doing. M1919 was just the air-cooled variant of the 1917. They got converted in 1919s after World War I. There we go. I learned that. And it makes sense that Marines would be going into World War II with World War I equipment. That checks out. That checks out wholeheartedly. I love Marines, but they just get the hand-downs from everybody. I love it. Zora Arcanus Duntov, the father of the Corvette, always intended it to be a mid-engine car like Ferrari and Lamborghini from the beginning, but GM told him no. Really? I did not know that. See, I was tracking, and I watched a documentary about the Corvette years ago. I was tracking that they actually wanted it to be like a family car. I'm willing to be wrong on this. I'm a Mopar guy, not a Chevy guy. I do appreciate the Corvette. It's a beautiful car. I mean, they're just, it's an iconic piece of American history. It really is. Who said bully him? Weapons? No one bullies me. Imagine an F-16 with an RCS of 0.5 square meters or less. Maybe related to something I said. Sammy? I don't follow. I'm attempting to follow, but I'm not very good at it. Why am I retired? Yeah, because I'm fucking retarded. Because I'm broken. Knox, go lay down. They've been waiting for you on the camera, and you're not on the camera. Knox, go. Go to bed. Nope. Other bed. Nope. Other bed. Here's my next trade deal with you. One of your future live streams. It's a $250 donation in exchange for Mrs. Linecrosser coming into that particular stream for 10 to 15 minutes. Mrs. Linecrosser is watching. That's why she's calling me. So, Mrs. Linecrosser. Oh my God, there's the rat. Oh my God, Fritz. Okay. Okay, you only get half. Because you're on meds. That was sloppy. Yes, Fritz is here. Come here, Fritzy Bits. Come here. Oh, come on, you little. There we go. I got him seat belted, and now he's unseat belted. Oh, okay. I'll put you back in the seat belt. You unseat belted? Okay. He doesn't like being without a seat belt. It makes him feel safe. Hey, what's this? Oh, that's a microphone. Retire because he's smart. I mean, yeah. What up with the Tarkov pistol from World War II? I don't know if I fired that one. I did fire, obviously, 1911. I mean, everyone's fired in 1911. Like anyone, if you just like, hey man, can you teach me to shoot? There's probably like a 40% chance that person's going to show up with a 1911. Dear, my door is open. You gonna wave? Okay. You're all done, both of you. You're not getting any more. Bring Fritz to an unsub episode. We should. Mrs. Linecrosser, next time I get invited down to unsub, we're taking Fritz. He just ran back down the hallway. TT30, I don't know if I've ever used that firearm before. Hurricanes had 2 blank banks of 4 303s, Mark IIs. I'm telling you, the Hawker Hurricane, just very underrated weapon. We bully me into bringing Mrs. HLC on stream. I mean, she'll come in here and just tell weapons to fuck off. She wouldn't. She's like the nicest human who's ever lived. I think I've heard her cuss like big cuss words just a handful of times. We were in San Antonio one time, her and I, and we were going to what was it? Fucking, I want to say Waterworld, but that's wrong. Where do you go see like the dolphins and shit? SeaWorld. We're going to SeaWorld. And I've never been to a SeaWorld. And so we go to SeaWorld and we're on our way, and she loves Peter Piper pizza. It's not that good, guys. I'm going to tell you, it's not that good, but she loves it. And we didn't know there was one in San Antonio. And I'm driving, and she's like, "Is that Peter Piper?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, hey, they got a Peter Piper here." And she just goes, "Fuck." I think it's one of the few times I've actually heard her cuss. Oh, I'm a huge car guy. I know the history of every major car company and the history of their most popular cars as well. I used to watch Donut Media, the car channel, all the time until they got bought by a corporate company. Yeah, I remember they got bought out. I used to watch Donut back in the day too. Finally able to catch a stream. I heard Patriot radar in Ukraine was damaged. It was declared a total loss when it was transferred to Germany. Luftwaffe experts were able to repair it and get it back to the Ukrainians. Yes. I mean, obviously, huge fucking win for the Luftwaffe, right? Like that's vitally important. That system is vitally important. However, it's not really unheard of. So in 2003, when Patriot was in Iraq, obviously they shot down some friendly aircraft. They had an F-16 that hit them with a harm. Luckily, I don't know if it's all versions. Weapons is going to let me know if I'm wrong, but at least that version of the harm was mostly just designed for like kinetic impact. Like it didn't really have a large explosive on board. So it like fucked up the radar. And they got it back up and running within 24 hours after being hit with a fucking missile. Nobody was hurt. Nobody was killed. It was just a fuck up. The pilot didn't know where they were. They didn't know where the pilot was. The pilot actually came up behind the radar, kind of circled around and was like, oh, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Would you intercept me? I'd intercept me.
Hey Temu Fat Electrician, could the Patriot Pack 3 shoot down the Millennium Falcon from Star Trek?
You know, I just realized what he did. He called it Star Trek. Hold on. Let me see. Max speed of Millennium. Let's see what the max speed of the Millennium Falcon is. Okay. So it says its maximum Earth-like atmospheric speed is 652 miles an hour. Now, based off of physics and not wanting to turn everybody inside the Millennium Falcon into goo from G-forces, I would say that there's a pretty high probability that Patriot would be able to smoke that thing. My chat doc just died on me. I gotta reopen it back up. And I'm Temu Fat Electrician. Harm has a frag warhead for a reason. That checks out. The guy I talked to who got it up, like one of the people who got it up and running, he like, oh my God. He said they literally had like, were chewing bubblegum to like splice wires together. So there's the thing. Do I think it was unfixable and they fixed it? No. I'm glad they fixed it. But here's the thing. When a corporation like Raytheon sends out people to like fix a radar, they don't declare it a total loss. Whoever's paying the bill declares it a total loss. So like when you go, like your car gets totaled, that's because the damage to your car is worth more than the car. So Raytheon probably looked at it and said, look, it's going to cost us this many millions of dollars to fix this radar. And they said, it's a total loss. And the Luftwaffe said, nope, we're not going to accept that, yeah. So I that's what I believe happened. But it's still remarkable regardless, okay? I want everyone to understand that. Like, I'm not talking shit about the German Luftwaffe. Like, that was a very remarkable achievement that they did there. So it's very good stuff. Feeling bored, might launch some Oreshniks in New Mexico because you decided to choose personal Ohio class over a personal THAAD system. Yeah, you know, but a THAAD system, like I can't go like under the sea. I don't know why I fucking did that, man. There's so many clips from this fucking stream. Oh man. They're Germans. They had to fix it or jail. That's fair. You must fix this radar to go back to the Ukrainians, yeah? Or we can put you in the lockup. Oh wait, there's one, at least one. Yeah, there's gotta be. There's so many clips in this. You know, it just sometimes, like, I can't imagine how cool it would feel to surface in the middle of an ocean and just like, this is what I'm doing today. And like go and put out like a beach chair and a fucking umbrella and just like cast a line in and just chill out there where I know nobody is. No one's ever going to be near me. No one's ever going to come sailing by. I'm just in the middle of fucking nowhere. And I'm like, this is nice. And then, you know what I can do? I can go back into my submarine, submerge myself down a couple 100 feet, just chill there, and then go to sleep. I don't got to drive all night. I can just be like, I'm going to stay right here. Little Mermaid in the next video, probably. I hope I'm pronouncing that weapon right. I've never heard it before. The Sumoi is a Finnish subgun, quick stack mag, but the many early SMG was expensive to produce. Check the Forgotten Weapons vid. I will have to check that out. I want to check out this Because that PPSH, man, it was so nice. It was a lot of fun. Bro's getting that good Boeing money with these trade deals and throw it at him. You know, at least I didn't have to go on strike. I do like that in this, like where I'm at now, I had this awesome fucking Patriot picture. That's not an American radar. That's I think maybe German. I don't know. But that's an American launcher, which is cool. The Germans have been known. Let me finish this. They have been known to, what's the word I'm looking for? Modify Patriot so that it's more efficient. Like that's when I heard about that, I was like, that is what the term German engineering is supposed to mean. So like for our cables, so Patriot Prime Power, I can say this is perfectly open information. Patriot Prime Power is 208 volts, 3-phase, 400 hertz. I don't know anything about electricity, but I know it comes in these enormous fucking cables. Actually, that might be a little small. They're like 2.5, 3 inches in diameter, these enormous cables. And there's 4 of them that come off of the generator. And for us, you have to plug in the cable in the right direction. It's got little notches and stuff like there because there's like different posts. And then you have to turn the top of it so that it screws all the way in so that it's watertight. But you're not allowed to grease it because it's an electrical connection, right? So you have to like wiggle the back of the cable, this enormous cable back, and this probably looks terrible, the back of the cable while you're turning the front of it to get it to seat all the way in. Germans like, no, that's not going to work, yeah. So they have quick disconnects. They literally, instead of like the screw-on part, they literally like an air chuck for an air compressor. They just pull back on it and like shove it in and then click, it's locked in place. How big is the cable again? Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys, man. If I remember correctly, the U.S. soldiers used Tootsie Rolls in the Korean War to patch equipment. They did. At least that's what I heard from Nick. I haven't checked into it myself, but yeah, they did. Why New Mexico, not San Antonio? My wife's family is from New Mexico. I lived here for a couple years while I was at White Sands. I really like it. It's I mean, the climate is, yes, it's hot. There's like the dog days of summer where it's like what we're in right now. Probably about a month and a half out of the year, it'll be triple digits. The rest of the time, it's not. The winters are super mild. During the daytime, pants and like a hoodie, you're fine. Middle of winter, you're perfectly fine. So like for me, I was like, I grew up in Colorado, so like cold doesn't bother me, but my entire time in the military, I've been in hot fucking places. So I'm like, I'm probably gonna end up retiring somewhere hot. But yeah, and San Antonio's fucking expensive. New Mexico, it's like the nation's blind spot. Yeah, I went on strike, but at least I'm not shaped like a C5 Galaxy. Whoa! Whoa! I'm going to the gym. Trying anyways. Join Discord just to help bully HLC. God damn it, Hyde. I appreciate it. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I don't know. I'm going to get him fucking copyright strike for that one. Man, you're lucky. Florida, 95 every day, 70 is AC. Oh, yeah. No, my AC here right now, it's like today, this week it's been pretty hot. I think it was like 104. Today was 102. My AC stays around 73 during the daytime, but and I say this, it's a dry heat. Now, having experienced both a dry heat and a wet heat, I know the difference. In a dry heat, when the sun goes down, it's fucking cool. Like Arizona, I guarantee, because it's so dry when the sun goes down, like even here, I'll wake up in the morning and I'm like, shit, it's kind of cold because there's no humidity in the atmosphere to hold the heat. The same thing goes for during the daytime. If I'm in the shade, it's not bad. You go out in the sun, it's miserable. Now, wet heat, humidity, there's no escaping it. There's nothing you can do. It's just everywhere. It's just, you got humidities perpetually, just all the time. It's 108. Oh, you're in Phoenix? That checks out. I don't know why people live in Phoenix, man. Like Phoenix is like the desert. And I've driven to Phoenix from New Mexico. You just hop on the 10 and go straight to Phoenix. And do you guys want to know what I-10 is like? Like I-10 in general is bad, right? I-10 in El Paso is bad. I-10 in Louisiana is bad. Like it's all bad. However, I-10 between fucking Phoenix, I think it was Phoenix. It was a big city in fucking Arizona. and Las Cruces might as well be called Fury Road. There's no rules. It's all made up. Somebody's fucking parked with their hazards in the left lane, people in the right lane doing fucking 35 over. There's someone driving on the shoulder in reverse, but it's okay. They got their hazards on. Like, dude, it's fucking Road Warrior. That's all it is. It's Fury Road. Al Asad is the desert. Yeah, well, hold on. Kuwait gets fucking hot. I think, is Al Asad Kuwait? Oh wait, Al Asad. I don't know where Al Asad is. Was that Bahrain? UAE? You've been pulled over so many times in that stretch. Dude, it's just made up. Like, if you're a cop, you just sit out there and, like, whoever is the most egregious at that moment is getting pulled over. You're like, 10 over, 10 over, 10 over, and 75 over. I'll pull that one over. Like, it's just fucking made up. Oh, Western Iraq. Sorry. I never did Iraq. Did Afghanistan. Where the real men went. I'm in my 2 hours, guys. I had to fuck with weapons, man. I love you guys. 308 higher pressure than a 7.62. Also 5.56 more pressure than a 2.23. Is it the pressure, not the size of the round? That, like, now I'm gonna have to look that up. Now I'm gonna have to be a TISM. San Diego is the desert if you go east. I've never been to California. Honestly, kind of trying to avoid it, but apparently there's some history in California, so I have to go check it. The only reason I want to go to California is the Redwood Forest. It's the only reason. It's the only thing I want to see in California. The rest of it, don't care. That's the only thing, like, I'm interested in seeing this. Oh yeah, it's hot as fuck in Arizona. Like, Arizona, I think they broke their heat record again for the second day in a row. Well, there you guys have it. I appreciate y'all for being here on this another wonderful Friday. Remember, if you would like to support the channel, please go to habituallinecrosser.com, get yourself some merch. Go check out over on Pepperbox, where I am on 3 exclusive shows that you will find nowhere else other than Pepperbox. That is HLC State of Mind, that is Habitually Fat, and that is Kinda Consensual, the podcast I do with the Fat Electrician, Eli Double Tap, and Angry Cops. So, as always, watch out for one another, and don't do the enemy any fucking favors. We all deserve to have you here. We'll see you guys next time. Yes, Akataku. That's, I don't know, man. It's just nuts out there. I'll see you guys later.